Can't get any words. Podcast on blast, giving you the real talk, no holding back. Can't get any worse, we'll make you see. There's always a silver lining. We'll set you free, so join the movement. Let's change the game with the Can't Get Any Worse Podcast.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Can't Get Any Worse podcast. How are we all today? I hope we're ripping into a Ripper Tuesday. Look, I'm going to get this off the bat because I reckon I'm going to have to push the cough button a couple of times today. And look, I'm not in the fanciest studio in the world, so I don't actually have a cough button. So when I say cough button, I'm just going to push my microphone away, let out a sneaky little cough, probably have a sip of water, and I'll be right back to regular program, ladies and gentlemen. But your boy here is feeling a little under the weather. Look, the kids have both been sick. I don't even know. It feels like it's been forever. They just keep coming home from school a little bit shitty, and then they'll be sniffly and coughy and shit for a couple of days, and then they'll come sweet, and then it'll be straight back a few days later. So they finally got me. I don't know what's going on, but it's starting to knock me around. So this morning was the first day I woke up, and my voice was like a little bit hoarse, and it was cutting in and out and shit. So I don't know. We're going to push through. We're going to try and get you guys an episode, but if you guys do get radio silence for a couple of seconds, that's why. Okay, I'm over here coughing my lungs out, trying to stay awake. Awake? That's not the right word. I don't know where I was trying to get to there, but anyway, let's rip into what I've been up to this morning. That's a good start. I have just had to walk home from the mechanics again. So I've had a couple of car issues again over the last week or two, and booked that bad boy in last week to go get fixed. And I was a little bit worried, okay? My car has been blowing a little bit of smoke the last couple of weeks, and never a good sign, right? Now, it is a diesel, and from what I've heard along the grapevine over the years, diesels are allowed to blow a little bit of smoke, okay? It's well within normality, I suppose you'd say. I don't know. So a little bit of me wasn't too stressed. Spoke to my dad about it, like end of last year, I think it was. I go, my car's starting to blow a little bit of smoke, and he's like, basically gave me the unwritten rule: black smoke, not too bad. White smoke, I couldn't think of anything to rhyme, but white smoke is not good. Now, over the last couple of weeks, it has started to blow. It started to like struggle to start, and then once it does fire over, just blows a cloud of white smoke, and I'm like, oh, sick. This is fucking awesome. I'm going to be in for a new car now. So I'm just thinking every worst case scenario. I don't know what's going on, okay? I was thinking about calling my dad again and just saying, what's up? But see, my dad's one of those people, right, where you can give him any sort of motor device, like whether it be a car, a motorbike, a boat, anything that's got an engine. And if that thing was made before the year, I don't know, say 2005, he can get it going again. Like, I don't know, my brain is definitely not wired like that. And growing up, he tried to teach me so much mechanical shit, but it would just go straight through one ear and out the other. It just did not interest me for some reason. I'm into like the other side of cars, like fucking put some cool rims on a car and I'll be like, oh, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. But when it comes to working out why your car blows white smoke, I'll be like, I've got no idea. I'm not some sort of fucking mechanic. But anyway, before I called Dad, I jumped on my good friend Chat GPT, okay? The old AI. And I was like, fuck, let's, because I use AI for so much shit now. Like when it first came out, I was like, I'm not going to jump on this bandwagon. I don't want to be influenced by AI and shit like that. And I was talking to someone at a gig. Fuck, this is probably 12 months ago now. And they're like, why don't you just use it as like a tool? Like just purely take some workload off your shoulders. Because the thing I was worried about, right, is I would get so influenced by it and all of a sudden I'd be coming on here with a premise. I'd be like, oh, fucking, I don't know, I'm just looking around, like lights are bright or something like that. And then I'd just go on Chat GPT. I'd be like, write me a 2-minute bit on fucking why lights are bright, and I don't know, end it with me shitting my pants or something. And then it would spit out this hilarious joke that I could never even dream of writing. Luckily enough, though, most of my jokes that I do on stage, pretty much all of them, are from like personal experiences and shit like that. So I think it still has to come from me deep down. So I've avoided that side of it, okay? But when it comes to like writing the write-up for the podcast, social media, fucking captions, shit like that, I do a lot of that through AI just because it cuts my workload in half. And until I get some like sponsors or a little switch bitch or something to come sit in here and work the buttons for me, I'm using it as a like personal assistant. Anyway, back to where this story was going. I've jumped on Chat GPT and I've gone, hey, I have a fucking Nissan Navara, typed in the year, diesel, every bit of information I knew about the car. I put it in there and I go, over the last couple of weeks, it's struggled to start. And when it does finally fire over, a cloud of white smoke blows out and then it's fine for the rest of the day. I'm like, can you please give me the 3 most common reasons why this would happen in this car, in this like make and model? And all of a sudden, ChatGPT just starts thinking, and it's like, I don't know, this was the first time I've seen it do it, to be honest. It actually might have been because I've downloaded the app now. This was the first thing I used the app for, because on the computer, you type it in and then it just goes like thinking or something, and then it'll just spit out the answer. Whereas on my phone, it was going through everything. It was like, it could be this, this, and this, blah, blah, blah. So it broke down 3 potential options. And they all sounded better than what I prepared myself for, of a full like engine rebuild or something like that. And I was like, okay, not too bad. So I booked it into the mechanic, called him up. He goes, oh, I've got a spot tomorrow if you can get it here. I'm like, sweet, let's fucking knock this on the head before my engine does blow up or something. I book it in there and straight away he's having a quick look before I go. And he's like, I think it might be glow plugs. Now this was answer number 1 on ChatGPT. And I'm like, holy shit. Because he could have, a year ago, he could have said that to me and I could have been like, okay, if you say so, sir, I've got no idea. And I was like, so then I got to be like the cool car guy. Oh, God. I got to be the cool car guy. I was like, yeah, I was actually one of the things I was thinking it could have been. Oh, God. And he goes, yeah. So leave it with us today. We'll swap them over, blah, blah, blah. Calls me in the afternoon. He's like, your car's ready to be picked up. I get there. He's like, we checked everything else. That should be it. Now, after I left the mechanics in the morning, I was like, shit, how much is this even going to cost? Like, what if he tries to rip me off? I felt like a sexy blonde girl just dropping my car off to a mechanic and him charging me $100 to fill my tires up or something with air. So I've jumped on my Chat GPT again and I've gone, follow-up question from that one. If the glow plugs need replacing in here, can you tell me how much typically within the southeast Queensland area this should set me back? And again, it starts filtering through things and it goes between $400 to $600 going off current mechanic rates and things like that in your area. And then at the bottom of that, it goes, if you want to save a bit of money, you can go to Repco that has the glow plugs for this car in stock for this much money. That'll take $80 off the price. All these suggestions to like make it cheaper for me. And I'm like, fuck, this is hectic. I'm going to start using this for everything. And sure enough, he calls me in the afternoon. He goes, look, your car's ready to be picked up. And I'm like, oh, okay. How much does that set me back? And he goes, oh, $460. And I was like, Chat GPT, you've done it again. Because like he could have called me and said $900, and then I could have gone, oh, you sure about that, mate? You sure about that? Because I think it should be somewhere between, I don't know, if I had to throw a dart, $400 to $600. And then like we would both be like, wow, this guy knows what he's talking about. This guy is a fucking modern day Vin Diesel. Anyway, last week when I dropped it off, I had both the boys home sick with me, right? Left my car at the mechanic. We get home. And I forgot to take my house keys off my car keys to get in the house, okay? Now, I'm going to be a little bit vague about this. There is a certain part of my house that I can break into if I need to, okay? Need a couple of tools and I need a small body. Luckily, last week I had 2 small bodies with me, 2 little people, and I did what I had to do. And then I passed them through into my house and I'm like, now run around and unlock the door for Dad so I don't have to sit out here while you two just have a fucking glorious day inside. They did that, okay? You would think lesson learnt. Now, I've started the walk back from the mechanic this morning. I've got to walk up this gigantic hill from the mechanic to my house, okay? I get to the top of the hill and all of a sudden it hits me like a lightning bolt, and I've gone, my fucking house keys. Now, I can either walk back down the hill, go to the mechanic, get my keys, and then come home and know that I'm going to get in my house. Or I could walk the extra, I don't know, K and a half to my house and rely that I can get in without the children. Now, I decided the second option was going to be it because I did not want to tackle that hill again. I pulled into the shop once I was done there, so I had bags of groceries and shit. I was not tackling that hill again with a bag of groceries. So I get home and I do what I got to do. Now, like I said, I need little people to get into my house in this way that I know. I am not a little person. Anyone watching this right now, this jumper right here, Johnny Biggs. This episode is sponsored by Johnny Biggs. Oh, fuck. I actually got this on Saturday. Quite a nice warm jumper. Wanted a nice oversized jumper for stage. So you're looking at it, guys. But anyway, I have had to try and wedge myself through the world's smallest hole, and I'm here recording, guys, so I don't want to blow what happened, but I got in. I'm not looking forward to climbing back out that way to go and pick my car up, hopefully in a couple of hours. But we shall see. Let's rip into some more exciting news. I'm going to have a little sip before this cough works its way up, guys. Oh, yeah, some good water. I'm actually going to leave that down here because I think I'm going to need it again soon. Anyway, sorry if my voice sounds like shit today too. It feels like it sounds like shit in my head, but I've asked a couple of people today. They're like, no, you sound normal. So now I just think my voice sounds shit constantly. But like I said last week, started boxing training. And how's this stitch up, right? We had this plan, okay? Westy has training Tuesdays and Thursdays. And on Thursdays, I was going to stay after Westy's training. My training pretty much follows straight after it. So I'm like, oh, Westy, if I do Thursdays, are you happy to sit there and watch me train? And then we'll come home. And he's like, yep, 100%, lock it in. And of course, the first one, he gets like 10 minutes into my training and he comes over. He's like, can I call mum? This is boring. I want to go home. So I'm like, yeah, sure. My phone's in my bag. Go fish it out. Call mum. So Nikita comes, picks him up. I get home after training, okay? Now, as you could imagine, the boxing gym is full of fit, jacked, fucking good-looking blokes, okay? That is not what you see before you. I am not one of those people. So obviously I'm new to the gym. I'm finding my place. I'm obviously nowhere near fit yet. And a couple of the boys, once they finish their little warm-up, they've taken their shirts off. And I've gone, a bloke could dream. A man could only dream to have that body, who clearly they've been boxing since they were like Westy's age, and now they're just a chiseled sculpture, like Jake Gyllenhaal from Southpaw. Picture that. That's what I'm up against, okay? Now, I, of course, have no vision of taking my shirt off in this situation. That shirt, I'm pulling down on my shirt. I'm like, oh God, I hope my gut doesn't come out while I'm throwing a punch or something like that. I'm getting all self-conscious. And I get home from boxing. I'm sweaty. I'm exhausted. I walk in. And Nikita's like, oh, how was training? I'm like, yeah, it's good. I'm exhausted, fucking yada, yada, yada. And she goes, oh, yeah. She goes, Westy said you were about to take your shirt off. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about right now? And she's like, oh, Westy said, oh, there's the first cough. Westy goes, a couple of the boys pulled their shirts off and he said, he saw you starting to like go to lift your shirt off and then you decided against it. And I looked at her and I go, do you honestly believe that I would take my shirt off inside a boxing gym? And she pissed her pants and she's like, no, I knew he was lying, but it'd be a funny thing to picture. And I'm like, fucking oath it would be. Full credit. Oh God, guys, I don't know if we're going to push through the whole episode. We're going to play it by ear. But the voice is starting to feel tattered. But yeah, on the topic of working out, I've mentioned this before, okay? I go to the gym, like the normal gym, not the boxing gym, in the morning, early as fuck. We've got all our regulars. We all just normal, hey mate, how you going? Yeah, good, thanks. Haha, fucking cold today, isn't it? Yeah. And like that's as much as we do. And everyone respects that. We've got a nice little community there. Nobody wants to talk too much, but we're polite to each other, okay? Oh, you using that, mate? No, you're good, mate. Or, yeah, I got one more set. And then, oh, do you want to work in with me? Blah, blah, blah. Common shit like that. Now, I was there last week. All of a sudden, a new character enters the gym. And I've gone, oh, what's this bloke all about? Now, he's cruising around the gym. And he looks a little off. Let's just say that, okay? Something doesn't seem right, okay, politely. And all of a sudden, I'm working out, and he walks over to me. I've got my headphones on. I'm blasting music, and I'm doing my last couple of reps on the tricep push-down thing. And he's standing there watching me, and I'm like, oh, God, this is fucking weird. I'm like, what could this guy possibly want? And so I've finished. I've paused my music, and I've gone, hey, mate. And he's like, cold this morning, isn't it? And I've gone, yeah, it is. It's pretty cold. And he's like, yeah, my boss, he lives out at Bow Desert. It was -2 out there the other day. And I've gone, no way. You're fucking joking. And he's gone, nah. So, yeah, it's getting pretty cold everywhere at the moment. And I've gone, seems that way. And he goes, yeah. I used to be 100 kilos. And I was like, shit, you look good now, mate. Like, I'm trying to get out of this fucking conversation. I don't know where this is going. I don't know the purpose. He hasn't even fucking introduced himself. I don't know who I'm talking to, but he's talking to me like we've known each other for fucking years. And I've gone, yeah, no, you're looking good, mate. I wish I could get under 100 kilos. Like, I'm just trying to play it off. I'm trying every trick in the book. And he's gone, yeah, nah. So I'm just coming to the gym now. I'm trying to stay on top of things. I'm like, yeah, nah, good on you, mate. Good on you. I go, anyway, I'm going to do my next set. And he's like, yeah, okay, yeah, I'll just be cruising around if you want to have a chat. And I'm like, yep, I definitely won't be. So I pretty much finished my next set, got my shit, and fucking sprinted out of the gym. If you go to the gym and you have conversations like that to random people, fuck you. That was such an uncomfortable situation. But let's rip into some exciting news. This isn't even exciting. I don't know. It's just fucking the next topic, I suppose. Went up to the Sunshine Coast yesterday to surprise ex-co-host of the show, Mr. Ashley Epstein, for his birthday yesterday. We went to this little brewery. I think was it a brewery? I don't fucking know. Ash, was it a brewery? I think it was like Touretton or something, or I don't fucking know. Some brewery up on the Sunshine Coast. And it was actually a sick venue. Like this giant fucking paddock. And then they've just built this big shed in the middle of it, and they're brewing beer and stuff in there. Then I walk into this other room. It's just pool tables, dartboards. The UFC was playing up on a big TV, and I'm like, fuck, this is crazy. But yeah, cool little day. Ash, I still don't know if he was genuinely surprised, because he's like, oh, I sort of caught on to something was happening. But I think he was a little bit surprised because it was mainly just for like family. So I think he was a little bit surprised that Adrian and I came. So yeah, it was a fun little day up there on the sunny coast. But I've tackled some kilometres over the last, 2 or 3 days. I've been everywhere. I've been to Boona, and then I went to Sunshine Coast yesterday, and now my back is just fucked from all that driving. I don't know if you guys get that way after long drives, but that's the other thing. I drove my ute out to Boona, and comfortable as fuck drive, no issues. And then I drove Nikita's car to Sunshine Coast yesterday, and my back was fucked. I was not comfortable. Terrible. Nissan X-Trails, they're good for like city driving, but for long distances, fucking horrible. Do not get one, ladies and gentlemen. But talking about birthdays, I've got a couple of things I was supposed to talk about last week. That this was what happened. I finished recording. I hit stop, and I was like, wait a minute. I think a couple other things happened this week that I really wanted to talk about on the podcast, but I just forgot to jot them down. And I was like, should I go hit record and try tack it on the back of the episode? And I was like, fuck it. I'll just write them down for next week. So first one involves a birthday party, hence the poorly inserted segue from Ash's birthday. But I took Westy to a birthday party a couple of weeks ago. Let's just say that so that we can keep it vague. And same thing. Nikita couldn't go. She's normally the birthday party parent, okay? But this was around the time of Parker's birthday party. So she had to do the birthday cake and the gift bags and everything else. She's like, do you want to stay and do all that, or do you just want to go sit at the party with Westy? And I was like, fuck. If it's between those two things, I guess I'm going to the party. So I go to the party, and I am not a party parent, okay? I hate being there and just making generic small talk, much like with the dude at the gym with all these other parents. And, like, I'm talking to some of these dads, and I'm like, yeah, and nothing against them. Like, they're all fucking good blokes, but sometimes I find myself in conversations that I just can't get out of. Like, this one dude described to me how he's like a courier or a truck driver or something, and he's found this little niche within his market where he transports bull semen. And look, you guys are probably sitting there going, James, this is your target demographic. You would thrive in this conversation. And usually I would, okay? If I was at a bar and someone told me that, sure thing. But there was something about being at a kid's party, talking to this bloke about bull semen while kids are running around. It just did my head in. I was like, mate, I can't play into this to my full ability. Like, you come to my place for a beer this arvo, and let's rip into your bull semen story. I am intrigued as fuck. But I can't look over there at my 8-year-old while you're whispering in my ear that you carry gallons of bull semen a month, and that's how you pay your mortgage. It just didn't feel right to me. But anyway, the embarrassing part of the story, here it comes. I'm going to take a sip. Oh, God. The embarrassing part of the party, I'm chilling in this circle with all these parents. There's probably, 10 of us there, okay? 10 parents. All of a sudden, Westy and two of his little mates run over in the circle. Westy, I forget what he even asked. He's like, oh, can I go get some lollies or something off the food table? I'm like, yeah, sure. And one of his little mates, this is the same little mate that I've had a couple of run-ins in the past that I've spoken on the podcast. The one that when I did school pickup, he was like, embarrassed me in front of all the other parents to asking me to play Fortnite with him when he gets home from school, and I just seemed like the seediest cunt in the world. Go back, fuck, that was probably like a year ago I told that story. Go back and listen to that one, but same kid, okay? He comes running up in front of all these parents, and he goes, hi, James, how are you? And I'm like, yeah, good, thanks, mate. How you been? And he's like, yeah, good, thanks. And he's like, what do you think about the new season of Fortnite? And I've gone, yeah, it's not too bad. I hated the Star Wars one, but the new one, I'm not too, like, I'm pretty keen on it. He's like, yeah, I like the Star Wars one. I'm like, okay, cool. And I go, well, that's all good. You're going to go get some lollies with Westy? He's like, I watch you on YouTube. And I was like, fuck. And just straight, like, no other parents are talking. Everyone is in this conversation. And I've gone, oh, no, you don't. I go, you don't want to be watching my stuff on YouTube? I'm like, I'm thinking I've got it all set to 18 plus anyway. I'm like, you must be watching someone else. He's like, no, I watch you. I watch the Can't Get Any Worse podcast, and your other channel is Jimmy Missing. And I've gone, oh my God. Like, in front of all these other parents, he's making me sound like I'm some sort of fucking YouTube superstar. And I'm like, yeah, nah, just stop watching that stuff. And he's like, no, I've subscribed. And I'm like, now that I'm halfway through this story, I'm like, fuck, is he going to watch this? I'm bailing. I'm bailing out of this. Hello to you if you are watching this. Oh, fuck my life. What's next? I'm not digging any deeper on that. Oh, yeah, this was the big one from last week. I genuinely don't know how I skipped this one, but I was at work on the Friday, and all of a sudden my phone rings, and I was with a client. Like, someone was in the office with me, and it was Westy ringing off his iPad, and I've gone, oh, he's probably asking me some password for Fortnite or fucking where his basketball is to take to school or something. And I've ignored it. I'm like, I'll call him back after this person leaves. He calls me again, and I'm like, all right, that's a little bit weird, because he knows, like, if he calls me and I don't answer, I'm probably busy. So I answer. I go, excuse me, answer. He goes, Dad, you got to come home. And I've gone, why? What's up, buddy? He's like, Parker's split his head open and the ambulance is on its way. And I've gone, okay. So I've fucking finished what I had to do. I'm like, all right, I'm packing up my shit now and I'll be there. And luckily I forget what it was. Must have been like a rep or something. I don't know. But I was like, I've got to go. And so I call Westy back, and somehow the boys were in the shower, and we've got one of those big fucking square shower head things, like a rainfall shower head. Somehow that has come away from the arm of the shower head and just dropped straight on Parker's head and fucking split him open, like right in the crown of his head. And I'm like, fuck. So get home, and actually, no, I went straight to the hospital because by that time, Nikita's like, I'm just going to drive him up there. Be quicker than waiting for an ambulance. I'm like, yeah, sweet, I'll meet you there. Get there, and P has fucking got this big gash in his head and just running around as if nothing happened. And the nurses and shit even said to Nikita, they're like, that's super weird that like he's just running around like that. And she's like, yeah, he's got a weird pain threshold. Like he doesn't seem to get bothered by much. They're like, yeah, it's so weird. Like even obviously they had to clean it out and shit with a needle. They did that, and P was just chilling there. So they're like, this is blowing our mind right now. So another reason why we need to get him into jiu-jitsu, just having in a fucking deep Kimura, just not tapping out, going, what else you got? So yeah, pretty hectic. Then, so I took Westy to work with me, expecting them to be at hospital for like half a day. Anyway, within an hour that Nikita calls, she's like, oh, come get Westy. They've already seen us, fixed it up, and sent us out. And I'm like, fuck, that's pretty hectic. But I guess like kids' head injuries, they probably want to get onto it quickly. So they didn't end up stitching it because I was like, that thing for sure needs stitches. And apparently they don't like stitching kids' heads in that spot that young because they're still like growing. And if they stitched it, he'd have like a flat spot on his crown forever. I'm like, well, it's probably not a great thing. So what they've done, they've squeezed a fuckload of glue on it, and they've like basically used his hair as stitches to like, they've like weaved it all together to like pull it tight, if that makes sense. But now that was 2 weeks ago, and he's still just got this clump of glue in the back of his head. And every day, like, I don't know if you guys get a scab or something and you've just got to be like, fuck, I want to pick that. That is my son's head now. I just look at it and I'm like, God, I want to fucking just rip your scalp. Oh, God. That was a horrible thing to say on record as that came out of my mouth. I do not want to rip my son's scalp off. I just want to pick the fucking giant glue scab out of his hair. Oh, God, giant glue scab. That could be the episode title. But, yeah, I get migraines pretty bad, and I haven't had one for a while, to be honest. But on Saturday, I felt one coming on. Nikita's like, just go lay down for a bit in the dark room, see if you can get rid of it. So I do that. Of course, with two kids, they won't leave me alone. So P comes in there. I'm laying there. I'm like, fuck. He's just jumping all over me and shit. And I see on our side table, there was like some pens and shit. And I'm like, fuck, what can I do? Now, this was like another childhood memory. And my dad's got tattoos, and I used to get pens and color them in and shit. And I was like, fuck yeah. I go, P, because P, like I said, P likes doing like art and shit at the moment. So I'm like, P, do you want to open your own tattoo shop? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, all right. Took my shirt off and I was like, go nuts. Cover my body in tattoos. I ended up like half like just not being phased by it. So I was like trying to get rid of my headache. I got my eyes shut, zoning out, half fell asleep. And I wake up and I've just, my whole, like from below my shirt to where my pants start, just covered in all these little drawings and shit. I was like, fucking hell. So they're still there, to be honest. I should have got some like washable markers or something. But if you want to distract your kids, that's a fun little way to do it. Let's rip into my week in comedy. Friday night, I was down at Matic Brewing, down at Ashmore. And look, wait, let me take a sip. When I first started doing that room, probably for the first like year to year and a half I was doing that room, it was one of those rooms where it was like, piece of cake. This is going to be an easy crush fest. Every time I went there, it was like I was barely bombing, okay? There might have been one bit that didn't work here and there, but other than that, it was like a sick gig. Then I started bombing a few times there, and I was like, fuck, what am I doing? And Friday night, obviously I've been on a slight skid. If you watch the vlogs and shit that I put up, been on a little bit of a skid the last couple of weeks. Couple of no real crushes, okay? So I was a little bit cautious for this gig, and I'm sitting in my car trying to work out what set I can do, trying to like put together a relatively safe set, I suppose you'd say. All of a sudden, I get this fucking bang on my window, and I'm like, holy fuck. And I look up, and I see the ugliest face in podcasting, Mr. Ty Avery, who has been an ex-guest of the podcast before, host of the Rose of Walk podcast. He has decided to come down to my gig with his lovely partner Taylor for their, I believe it was 6-year anniversary. And I said to him, like, why the fuck would you come and watch me for your 6-year anniversary? But yeah, they shout out to those guys. Fucking, it was cool to get a little surprise visit at a gig, and it made that desire to not bomb even hard, like even more, if that makes sense. One sec. Oh, God. Oh, the cough is getting bad. Anyway, I was third on the lineup. I was last before the break, and I was like, fuck, that's the sweet spot, okay? That's where you want to be in that room, because the last few times I've been there, I've opened, and it's hard to open unless the MC fucking annihilates. The other cool thing, everyone on the lineup are like probably what I'd consider like good friends in the scene, okay? Everyone there I felt completely comfortable around. We're just shooting the shit up the back of the room before the gig, and they both did like well, and then I was like, fuck, my time to shine. I get up there. Now the first act he was like halfway through his set, looks in the front row, and he's like, holy shit, are you like on that new Love Island show or something on Channel 9? And this fucking typical tattooed influencer was like, yeah, that's me. Turns out this dude's on some sort of reality show coming up, and they shoot the shit for a little bit, and I was like, oh, I'm trying to think of ways that I can like talk to this guy, like included in my set, if that makes sense. And nothing was really coming to me. And I got on stage, and as I got on stage for my set, this bloke's got up and left, and I was like, oh, fuck, that's annoying. But anyway, rip into my set, and I start doing pretty fucking well. I was stoked with how it was all headed. And then this bloke comes back from the toilet, and I was like, oh, fuck, he's back. And I said something, like one of my jokes, I'd start with a question or something, and this bloke yells out something, trying to be the funny guy again. And I was like, fuck this guy. So I forget how exactly I worded it. I got to look back at the recording. But I basically accused him of going into the toilets and doing cocaine. And turns out he actually was. It got verified in the break by a couple of people that were in the toilets with him. And this guy got pretty shitty and proceeded to spend the rest of my set with his arms folded, just death staring me. And I was like, fuck, sorry to out you, mate. But yeah, I think I like said something about like, oh, it's not not typical to see a Gold Coast influencer racking lines in a toilet or something like that. Anyway, and then I started going at his missus, and I was like, oh, I don't know if this is offensive, but you kind of look like Bonnie Blue. And to me, on stage in the spotlight, she did. Bonnie Blue is that chick that had sex with 1,000 dudes. In hindsight, pretty offensive, okay? But yeah, she was not stoked on that, so instantly turned those two against me. One sec, guys. Oh, I might even have to pause the podcast in a second. But yeah, all in all, super stoked with how that gig went. Didn't stick around to the end. I told Ty, I'm like, fuck, if you had told me you were coming down, I would have stayed till the end, but got shit to do. And he was like, yeah, no, that's cool. And I suppose he probably wanted to hang out with his missus on their anniversary more than me anyway. But yeah, shout out to him again for coming and giving me a surprise. Now, the following night, I had a gig out at Boona, and I've quietly been looking forward to this gig for a long while now. And I don't know, the day of was the day I had the migraine, and I was just not keen for it. I feel another cough coming. I'm going to go have a drink of water and have a little break, and I'll be back. All right, I'm back. Holy fuck. I felt like the most hectic cough coming up, and I was like, this cannot go to air. But anyway, Boona, forget where I was up to, so let's just rip into it. I was driving out to the gig. Now, I've driven out there a fair bit recently for work. Like every few weeks, I have to go out there and measure a job. And it's a nice drive, like pretty scenic, if that makes sense. So I was like, this will make the sickest vlog in history. Old dickhead here didn't fucking remember the fact that I'd be driving out there at nighttime. Turned into one of the scariest drives of my entire fucking life. Those are some dark, scary roads on the way out there to Boona. Anyway, I got there, cranking some old school music and stuff down these windy country roads and stuff. It was a sick drive. Anyway, I get there and same deal. I wasn't exactly feeling it when I got there, so I was just sort of sitting off on my own and stuff. And the gig started. Turned out to be like the first few people had some sneaky little crushes. And again, I was last before the break again. That sweet spot. That's probably my favorite spot to go. And so I was like, all right, need to wake up, need to get another crush under my belt. And got on stage and holy fuck, they seemed to love me. And this is the thing behind regional gigs. Everyone's like, oh, you're built for regional gigs. And again, Saturday night just proved it. Just like I won them over with my first joke and then they started talking to me and stuff. And I was just like, again, I feel so fucking gay saying this. Jot this down as the gayest thing I've ever fucking said. But you hear comedians say how they like get in the zone or something. That's genuinely how I felt on Saturday night. Everything someone was yelling out to me, I had something funny to say back, and I just fucking so much riffing and stuff, and it was sick. And then every bit that I did just completely crushed. So yeah, shout out to Boona Tavern. That's again with the traveling jokers that I've somehow become a part of. So yeah, we've got a fair few regional things coming up. I think Gladstone and Yeppoon are the two I've been plugging lately, but there's a heap more of New South Wales and even more in Queensland, but I'll plug them when they come closer. But look, if I had to pick a couple of negatives for the night, just because we can't have every week in comedy just being like, oh, comedy's so great. We need to bring ourselves back down to earth. The stage at the Boona Tavern, stickiest stage I've ever been on. There's something about a sticky stage. Like I'm trying to walk in certain sections and my shoes are just getting stuck. A couple of times I look down, I'm like, what the fuck am I walking on? Like, are some of my jokes coming to life and the stage is just covered in cum? Did old mate who drives the truck with bull semen, did he have a rollover here and he's just covered the stage in bull cum? I don't know. But the other thing, the second last act was on stage and a fight breaks up in the smokers area, which is right outside where the comedy's happening. And it was, it sort of, I don't know. Luckily, the person on stage could play into it. They were good at improvising and shit on the spot. And again, made it part of the show, made it funny. But yeah, shout out to Boona. Awesome gig. 2 sick gigs this week. So it's been a good week for comedy. I fucking needed that. I was on a bit of a skid. I was writing this hour and I'm like, I don't know if any of this is going to be fucking funny the way I'm traveling at the moment. So if I can get any of this hour hitting as hard as the shit did at Boona on Saturday, I'll be a fucking happy boy. But anyway, let's rip into Turns Out It Can Get Worse. Let me drag my laptop over here. The good part about this is I don't have to use my voice as much either. So let's start with this one. Drag this over. Oh, yeah? What could this bloke be on about?
Welcome to another episode of Cooking for Christ. You just want to cut these at a slight angle, Lucas. The power of quiche compels you. These Bloody Virgin Marys are superb. And Lucas can have one too. Oh, the sin of Eve! In the name of the flavor, the spice, and the buttered toast. Yeah, we're cooking for Christ.
What the fuck? We're cooking for Christ, ladies and gentlemen. That is basically my whole private school upbringing in one video. That is what my children are now going through. But if anyone has that DVD or VHS, send it into the show. I want to see that whole recipe folded out before my eyes. All right. You guys know every now and then I like to showcase some artists on the show, and this guy he really, really piqued my interest this week.
Where you wanna be, where you wanna go with me. Where you wanna go? What we gonna do? Yeah, every single time I see myself with you. Well, where we gonna go? Yeah, what we gonna do? Every single time I find myself with you. Every day, driving down that country road with you by my side all the big road.
Sign him up. Sign him up, ladies and gentlemen. Sign him to Meth Row Records. Fuck me. I've never seen a fucking song built up only of questions. Where you want to go? What you want to do? What the fuck? The amount of times he stuttered and stuffed up the lines, that just screams, we've got the recording studio for an hour. We need to make the most of it. Anything that we fuck up in that hour, it's just going to have to go to the album. But yeah, go give that guy a follow. Oh, fuck me. And then the last one. All right, let's open this bad boy. I genuinely think, look, this is not to talk down on what's going over in the States at the moment with the whole fucking riots and shit like that. But I feel like in Trump's head and in the ICE agent's head, they watch this video before they go and fucking start taking people away.
Hello.
Yes.
My asshole is tired because it's long time fuck me.
Okay.
You know?
Long time I ain't fucked you?
Yeah, long time no fuck.
I'm about to tear you up.
Shit.
Yeah.
I'm about to open you up.
Yeah.
Like a can of sardines.
Yeah.
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 I'm about to fuck the what's called them beans? Johotes, folotes, beans. Frijoles.
Frijoles.
I'm about to fuck the frijoles out you.
Yeah.
Tell them what you like.
I like big black dick. I like black dick in my mouth and my asshole.
Yep.
I wanna pregnant whatever black
You want to
guy.
get pregnant. Yes, you want him to pregnant.
Yeah. It's whatever black guy if he wanna.
Show him what you clean with for real. What you clean with? What is that?
It's clean for asshole.
That's a what?
You see my asshole?
Okay, go clean yourself up, man. You know I don't like no shitty deals up in this motherfucker. Okay. I don't fuck garbage men.
Okay.
All right, go clean that shit for mama. I see you looking. All right.
What the fuck? Oh, God. Oh, I just can't say anything else on that. What a crazy time to be alive, guys. But let's rip into some shit that I've what do I say? I don't know. Some shit I've watched or listened to or something this week. I should come up with a proper segment name, but let's kick it off with this. I watched probably the best documentary I have ever seen, and that's probably a big statement, but it's to the point where I watched it and I told Nikita and she's like, oh, I wanted to watch that. And I was like, I will watch it again with you. It was that good. I want to fucking watch it again. But I'm talking about the Netflix documentary American Manhunt, and it was basically how they tracked down Osama bin Laden and fucking killed him and shit like that. So it starts from 9/11, obviously, all the way to the end after they caught him and shit like that. And just seeing how he escaped them for 15 years or however long it was, and they just couldn't find him, couldn't track him down, shit like that. And then see Obama put together this like top secret mission that if it had failed, he would have been in the biggest shit. Like there was only 6 people or something that knew this was going down. So if something happened, they'd be like, fucking Obama's going rogue, blah, blah, blah. But it was so good seeing all this shit. Like to the point they tell you like they thought they found the compound, the compound that Osama bin Laden was in. And obviously, they knew what the outside looked like, but they had no idea what the inside looks like. So they'd go run all their training exercises and shit in this configuration where they thought the inside could look like. And then that night, while they've gone to break down how things could have been better and shit like that, they'd get a group of like builders and shit in to rearrange the entire inside of the house in a whole new configuration just so they could train in any scenario that's like put in front of them. Like it was insane just to see the levels and shit. Obviously, obviously, like it's a common thing to know that these guys are top of the top, but just to see a documentary fully break it down, and it was unreal. Go give that a watch on Netflix. The other thing was the UFC fight night yesterday. Look, on paper, I was like, this fight night is better than some of the pay-per-views we've been seeing lately. And it's just one of those scenarios where it turned out to be a bit of a snore fest. Every single fight on the main card was a decision. 0 finishes on the main card. Now, there were some brutal finishes on the prelims, which I think saved the entire card, but you definitely do not want that. You don't want 0 finishes on a main card. It doesn't speak well for the sport. But the couple of cool takeaways, Francis Ngannou was back on the UFC stage. He walked out with Kamaru Usman for the weigh-ins, and I hope that is the first step of us seeing Francis back in the UFC. He has come out and he's like, if the UFC and Dana White want to mend the bridges, I'm open to coming back. And holy fuck, if there is a fight, obviously John Jones and Tom Aspinall, who knows what's happening with that? It's one of those fights we'll probably never see. But if Francis comes back to the UFC, I bet you $10 million John Jones goes, give me Francis. We need to prove who is the best heavyweight of all fucking time. That would be an unreal fight, just seeing those two swing for the fences. Oh, God, it's just making me excited thinking about it. Anyway, Usman got the win, which was sick to see. Veteran of the sport. He's like, I don't know why he hasn't retired yet. His knees are so fucked up that he has to walk backwards upstairs, and he's in the UFC cage dominating. So yesterday's fight was probably the best he's looked in a while. So let's hope he has one last run at the title. But I don't know. He's one of those people I would like to see him maybe get one more win and just retire. Like he's pretty old. He's got fucking millions of injuries, but it was good to see him get in there and get a win again. Co-main, Rose Namajunas got another win. Love fucking Rose. I was going to use her for the motivational clip of the week this week from that fight where she was like, I'm the best, but just couldn't find a good edited clip. So if you see one of them, send it through to the show. And the other one, this is a fucking sad one. Cody Garbrandt. Look, he was one of those fighters where I watched his come up and I was like, nah, I am all in on this guy. And then when he won the title, I was like, this is him. This is the guy. And then just fucking, I don't know what happened. He just, once he won the title, he turned into a completely different person and forgot how to fight. And he's been on this skid for probably 3 to 4 years now. And it's like, fuck. And it's just getting sad to watch. And then you watch his photos from this fight. His receding hairline, like it's just not good. You don't want to see it for someone who looks so good in their early career to now be a shell of themselves. And again, didn't really show much on yesterday. He lost by decision, but God, he could have got finished from what I saw. Anyway, let's rip into what are those? No, those premises are nowhere near good enough to bring to the show yet. Let's rip into motivational. Oh no. I haven't put the motivational clip of the week on my laptop. So let's quickly airdrop it. Entertain yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. What are we up to? What are you guys up to this weekend? It's not even the weekend anymore. It's the week, you fucking idiot. There we go. All right, let's do a quick open and drag. So this is Kamaru. Got the win yesterday, and I've said this quote on the podcast before, but I don't think we've actually played him saying it. So let's hit play on the big fella.
I learned this lesson when I was young. My mom used to say this to me, and I had to really think about this. And she used to tell me all the time, if we all threw our problems in a pile, I guarantee you would take your shit back and run. So let that sit in for a little bit. Think about it.
So yeah, that's a good way to look at things. No matter how shitty your day's going or whatever else is happening, just think about that. Like if you were to throw your shit in a pile, there are a billion other people that you would not want to trade places with. There's people out there that have got it way worse than you. So puts things in perspective. Definitely helps me every now and then thinking about that sort of shit. Things to plug this week. Thursday, the 19th, I'll be at Guilt Free Comedy Club. They've asked me to be part of their crowd work show again, crowd control. So mustn't have bombed too hard on their last one. So I'm actually pretty keen to get to be a part of that show again. Absolutely kill a lineup this time as well. So keen as. Friday the 20th, we have our West Park production show at the Orion Hotel. That bad boy sold out, which is sick. Keen to see that place packed out again. Absolutely rip a lineup for that one. Then Saturday the 21st, we got another West Park show at Sunny's at Margate. Again, sold out as well. So I'm fucking stoked to have those two sold out again. We haven't done one show at either of those venues that hasn't sold out. So keen as to keep that trend going. And again, stellar lineup for that. It's going to be a fucking sick one. Other than that, guys, send any submissions you have via DM on Instagram or by email at cantgetanyworsepod@gmail.com. And I appreciate you guys listening. Again, another week of growth. Fucking insane numbers this week again. Probably the highest. Yeah, the highest this year, which is sick. I genuinely hope we can keep that trend going. So tell a friend, tag some people, comment on the Reels or the TikToks, wherever you guys watch that shit. And let's just try getting in some other people's algorithms. It fucking helps more than you know. But yeah, likes on YouTube, comments on YouTube, everything. Help a brother out. Genuinely appreciate everyone that listens or watches this. And I will see you later.